But you know, I knew that. I knew that when I bought the system, when I had the system made, I was going for an RX 580 at the time, and the guy informed me, and he said, you know, because the cryptocurrency issue going on right now, scarce, they're very scarce, and pay a much higher premium. We couldn't go past the $1,200 mark. There was no way to do it. So I said, okay, we'll get RX 560. So that's the way it came down. And he actually said that the RX 580 would be too much graphics card. Yeah, well, I don't. I
I
don't
don't
think
know
it
what the
would have
fuck
been.
you're talking about.
Yeah, 8 GB would be. I really wouldn't need the 8 GB. Well, guess what? I need the 8 GB because there's certain games that they just max out
Well, no, 8
on the
gigabytes
VRAM.
is like the standard now for video.
Well, but see, that's because games like PUBG and Warframe are out
Well,
now.
not just PUBG. It's flipping all these big ass open world games like Mass Effect Andromeda. You got Assassin's Creed Origins.
I mean, you can
Hell,
still get by with
with
GTA with 4
eh,
gigabytes. You know.
well, Ghost Recon Wildlands. You know,
Yeah.
they got so many textures in them games to get the full experience. You want 8 gigabytes or more for VRAM.
Yeah.
No shit.
So as far as the CPU goes, you know, I got what I needed as far as the CPU, but as far as the GPU goes, mm-mm. You know, so it's like, yeah, I just recently got the idea. It was like, okay, well, you know, I always thought, okay, I'll get the RX 560 and then I'll try to get the funds together and get
You
a
you, you
better
can always
GPU.
upgrade the video card later. You know,
Yeah, or I might win one. Ha, you know.
just
But
keep trying, dude. Look at me.
you know, the only hardware I've won in giveaways is
Keep,
keyboards and
dude.
mouse. You know,
Keep trying.
peripherals. I keep trying. I
Don't
keep
give
trying. I
up.
enter giveaways all the time, but the damn
Don't give
giveaway
up.
whores, not guys I know, but guys I don't know, guys who dominate giveaways on their stinking giveaway sites. Like I mentioned, they get several hundred referrals a day.
Some of the gleams I enter have a cap on the amount of
Yeah, thank goodness
referrals
for
you
the
get.
caps. You know.
Like some of them got a cap of like 5 or 10 referrals, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's your maximum
But see, there's
referrals
no
you
way to
can get.
know if there's a cap until you've got all the referrals, unless the host says it. I actually entered a giveaway today that the host said maximum was 3. It was in the
You
in
know,
the rules.
you can still refer it more
Yeah.
people, but you ain't gonna get
You
extra
won't
credit
get you
for
won't
it.
get the entries. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I
You need to
mean,
get a
but
new graphics card.
well, yeah. I mean,
No, how much is it?
oh,
How much
is a new graphics card?
Yeah.
I looked at. Well, I was only looking at RX 580s, but if you're looking at anything that's going to be in the GTX, a 960 wouldn't cut it, would it? Wildcard.
Mm,
That would be just
What?
like the RX 560.
Well, I couldn't hear what you
The
said there for a second.
960 GTX 960 would not cut it.
It would do
it would
okay.
be okay, but it won't like be substantial difference.
I mean, because like the RX 560, I can overclock the RX 560. In fact, right now I
But
do
why
have.
do you want a 560?
an
Why not
overclock.
just go with like a 1050 Ti
No,
like I did?
that's what I've got.
You got a 1050 Ti?
No, 560. I have an RX
No,
560.
I know that.
I don't
saying,
want an RX 560. I'm saying
No.
that what I've got right now to work with is what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying why not go with a 1050 Ti? Like
I look.
It's settings in OBS and under encoder. It should be like software or hardware.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
either
have a
software
third-
encoding or hardware encoding. But see, the thing.
He should have a second hardware encoding
No.
option for
Oh
the
my
video
fucking
card.
Lord.
He should if it has it.
We're talking
No,
about Rampage now.
That's
Yeah.
not what I'm. Oh my god, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for you upgrading your fucking
No,
graphics card.
He's talking about you. He's talking about you, Rampage.
No,
Yeah, I was looking for shit in OBS while you're
He's,
talking.
he's after the fact. No, as far as me
Okay.
upgrading, no, I would go with an Nvidia card if it's going to solve my
Yeah,
problem.
but
I would go with an Nvidia card. I mean,
why not
yeah,
go with like a 1050 Ti?
yeah.
It's cheaper.
I don't know what I haven't looked at the prices. I mean, I can take a quick look and
1050 Ti is cheaper than the 1060. The 1060 is absolutely brutal. I looked at the prices.
They're completely out of 1080 Ti's right now.
Gee,
No, I know.
would they be a crypto card by any chance?
What 1080s?
Yeah.
They can be, and the
Yeah,
1080
that's
Ti
why
as
they're
well.
completely out of them. You know, I mean, this is the insanity of
Any video card could be used for crypto.
How much is a 1050 Ti
I'm
for
looking
you?
on Amazon right now for 1050 Ti.
Okay, figure out the price for a 1050 Ti.
All right, 1050 Ti goes for $199. It's a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. It's only 4 gigabytes though.
That's mine. That's what I have, and I can run in ultra
Did you
settings.
check Newegg?
Well, I can check Newegg, but so it isn't a question of the gigabytes then,
Holy fuck!
right? And when you go double the gigabytes, you go more. It's definitely going to be
on the RAM.
Yeah.
No, normally, if you double the gigs of RAM on a video card, it's normally around like $30 to $80.
Okay, Newegg's got the MSI GTX 1050 Ti for $189.
Perfect.
Okay, now
Perfect.
what's comparable?
Now save the.
Well, here's a question. Okay, what's comparable as far as an AMD card goes in that respect? Do you know, Wildcard?
What do you mean?
You can do like video searches, like 1050 Ti versus like
right,
yeah,
I'm
and
just
then
curious
check
to know,
1050 Ti.
check each one on a web search because that's
But
the only way you're gonna find out how they compare in
But I
performance.
was talking with Best Buy. A 1050 and a 1050.
I'm not gonna know every single one of those off the top of my
But a
head unless you actually look at the
1050 and a
data.
1050 Ti there's no difference. The only difference is that it holds more. He literally told me that. There's literally no difference between them.
Holds more.
Yeah, like
what, architecture?
Yeah, like
there's
no,
other
different.
Are we talking about
you look at the actual specs and data for them two cards. The 1050 Ti is going to outperform a 10.
Yes, it will.
Okay, but as far as AMD goes,
it's got more CUDA cores and more shaders.
Okay,
and
okay, but wait, compared to its AMD equivalent.
To do that, I told you.
It's an RX 470, believe it or not.
Okay, if you take 1050 Ti versus like.
Okay, so how much is an RX 470 is the question.
RX 480, for example, just keep doing web searching, and then it'll tell you. You ain't gonna know how they compare until you actually do random searches.
But don't go with like a.
Listen, you can't compare them until you know the data, the actual data from testing, from multiple hundreds of tests.
I think RX 470s are discontinued. It would be an RX 480.
Yeah, but you could still or RX 570. I mean, you can still compare the two. Like doing a versus thing and check multiple different websites on the testing. Because until you have the data sheets to be able to compare.
Shit! An RX 480 is a wow. 4 gigabyte. It's $449 on Newegg.
Exactly. Go with a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti.
Well, see, the thing is the reason I'm asking what's the AMD comparable is because, like what we were discussing before, because I have the FreeSync monitor, the risk of screen tear. Okay, and so that's why I if I can avoid screen tear, I want to avoid screen tear.
What do you mean screen tear?
Well,
you don't know what screen tear is?
No.
See, the thing is FreeSync doesn't really. FreeSync isn't made for
it's
NVIDIA
it's just like you getting screen blur if you don't have a monitor with a 1 millisecond response time. Like if you're playing racing games and high FPS shooters, you'll get ghosting. You'll get like a ghosted blur, especially during the blur effect.
1050 Ti, right? 1050 Ti. That's what you're talking about. Okay, so AMD really doesn't have anything directly competing with the 1050 Ti, at least not in their new generations. This was 10 months ago. Closest thing of a small form factor would be the RX 460. Okay, which the 1050 Ti beats fairly. The 470 is significantly faster for similar price. Sometimes 480s even go on sale for $150, which will destroy a 1050 Ti.
What?
Apparently an RX 480 will destroy a 1050 Ti.
Yeah, it's got
but
it's got 8 gigs of RAM on the
here,
high end.
You can do a few things to stop screen tearing. In some games, normally VSync would be the best bet, but you need to make sure that the card can keep the action at 60 or it will get drops. Another way to do it would be cap the frame rate with a tool such as MSI Afterburner and leave VSync off in game.
Yeah, I've actually capped.
So get a 1050 Ti, turn off the freaking VSync, and get MSI Afterburner and cap the freaking frame rate.
You mean turn on the VSync?
No, turn it off and then get after MSI Afterburner and cap out the frame rate at 60.
But wait, wildcard.
You
Wouldn't that be the other way
PBK
around? Wouldn't I
precision
be
max
turning
does.
on VSync because FreeSync wouldn't be working anymore?
No, another way to do it would be
VSync
to cap the frame rate.
VSync
Because
adaptive
G-Sync
sync.
won't work. Let's make that very clear. This is not a G-Sync monitor.
What I'm telling you is VSync, adaptive sync, FreeSync, and G-Sync, they're all very, very closely related. They almost all use the exact same stuff. It's just FreeSync and G-Sync do a little bit more to help eliminate screen tears. All it does. You're perfectly fine with a flipping 1 millisecond response time monitor that has a really low 1 millisecond response time on the greater ratio as well. And guess what? And
Okay.
if it's a gaming one, you'll be perfectly fine using with VSync on or off. And
Okay, then what graphics
if
card do you really want?
If you do get screen
Well,
tearing,
see, the
then you
RX
turn
480
VSync on.
is going to be out of the question, and the reason the RX 480 is going to be out of the question is because the price has been.
Yeah,
I had
ridiculous.
one. I sold it for the same amount I bought it for. And
But here's my question:
what do you? But I'm not going to buy a used card.
No, but here's my question: what graphics card
I
would
only
you
used
like
it a
to
month.
install?
It still has it still had like a 3-year warranty. It was only
Well,
I sold it for
originally
like
the thought was the
200
580,
something.
but and I mean the 580 is because it's 8 gigabytes. Now the 580, the problem with the 580 is that because of the
It's hotter and
cryptocurrency,
uses more wattage too.
that's true too, and that's the other thing I had to look at was the TDP. And
But that's another thing with the 1050 Ti. When I was talking to the Best Buy guy, he even said he's like, with a 1050 Ti, you don't need a separate power supply. You can actually put it right into your motherboard. Like if you get a 1070 or a 1080, you need a lot more power in order to run it.
well,
So if you just go with a 1050 Ti, it will more than do what you need. It will run everything crystal clear, obviously, like I'm running it, and it's perfect. Like it does what I need. It runs Grand Theft Auto 5 in 1080p, and it runs freaking PUBG like a
If you played some of the newer games I play, then
with respect to the power supply
it'd be
issue,
different.
I believe I've got a 650 watt power supply, so I don't think
I think I have.
I got 1,000 watts.
Okay, well,
but that's because you're also running two 1080s.
But anyway,
no, the other 1,000 watts sitting in a drawer.
As far as an additional power supply goes for running a graphics card, I mean, that's usually an external graphics card. I'm a little confused.
No,
you run PCI Express. They got the PCI Express power cables. You run from your PSU right to your graphics.
If you want the 1050 Ti, I'll buy it.
Seriously?
No joke, I'll buy it. Obviously not right this minute because I just bought mine, but.
What do you think, Wildcard? I mean, based on what I've got right now.
I'd have to see the data too, and I just.
There's no way I'd be able to run both cards, right? Because I have a micro ATX.
It doesn't matter if you take the old one and stick it in like I'm doing, and then just run it to another monitor.
See,
then
I'm
you can
running
run.
Off
yeah, see, the problem ATX. is that you've got an ATX board, I've got a micro ATX board. I'd have to upgrade my board.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way, just take out the old one, plug in the new one, download the drive, and there you go.
1050 Ti. Oh.
Get the 6 gigabyte or 4 gigabyte or whatever the fuck it is. I think I have the 4.
There's a 6 gigabyte, I think. I think they make it.
I don't think they made a 6. Not for the 1050 at least. I don't think so.
So the 1050 Ti is it considered a mid-range card?
No, more upper.
Okay, so the 560 is considered a low end or mid-range?
No. The 550 and up are considered in like the 1050 and 1060 are kind of like getting pretty high up there. Like mid-range would probably be anything lower than 1050. That at least that's what I think, because a 1050 Ti is like running everything in 1080p, so that's kind of getting a little bit
Somebody
advanced.
might come pick up that 1080 FE for $540 from me.
The
Flipping
Wish?
Kokomo. I missed the email flipping at 4 p.m. I did fall asleep earlier. So.